Welcome to the July edition of Tri-Cities Magazine.
Funded by TELUS Optic TV. We would like to really thank TELUS Optic TV for their funding to support community programming in the Tri-Cities.
Coming up on today's show, we'll be looking at Port Moody Station Museum McKnight's Trench and Coquitlam's Library's digitization suite.
But first, let's check in with the new manager of the Coquitlam Farmers Market, Kate Fitzner.
Hi, I'm Kate, and I'm the market manager here at the Coquitlam Farmers Market. We are here at our original location, right behind the Poirier Sport and Leisure Centre, directly across the road from where we were last season at the Poirier Forum. So you'll find us just across from Winslow this year and right beside the Poirier Branch Library.
Hi, my name is Denise Namard, and I'm the chair of the Grow Local Society's Tri-City. We run both the Coquitlam and the Port Moody's Farmers Markets. Shopping local and buying local is more important than ever. The power of local and the power of community means so much. Being able to buy produce that was picked only a day or two earlier, what amazing flavors, what amazing variety. The vendors that we have, from prepared food vendors to craft vendors, there's so much available here at the market. Make sure to come down and try the importance of local and the importance of community. For those of you with young families, check out our Pop Club. It's gone virtual this year. Children learn about agriculture, they learn about our bees, they learn about local ecosystems, and they also get an opportunity to learn about finances. Our Pop Club has had hundreds of children come through, and we hope that your family will join our Pop Club as well.
If you're looking to come visit us, we are open here from 9 a.m. to 1. You can also find us on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or you can find us at makebakegrow.com. If you're looking for a midweek market, you'll find us at Port Moody. That location is 300 Ioko Road. That is on Wednesdays from 3 to 7 p.m. See you soon.
If you're like me, you have lots of VHS tapes at home and you really don't know what to do with them anymore. They're just piling up. Well, the new digitization suite at the Coquitlam Library helps solve that problem.
In today's rapidly changing digital media environment, it's not uncommon to find folks with remnants of our analog recording devices from the past. So what to do with your VHS tapes, mini DV, or your 8mm film now that your playback devices are no longer operational? How do you regain these seemingly lost family treasures? The answer may be no further away than the Coquitlam Public Library, where patrons are able to book access to their digitization suite. Steve Nicklin of the Coquitlam Public Library explains how this service came into being.
When I started here at the library, we had some equipment that some patrons were using, and I started to notice, and other staff members as well, that we had a demand for other types of media, such as VHS tapes, 8mm film, things that people didn't have the equipment to convert anymore. So we definitely had the demand from patrons to build something where they could come in and convert their old tapes or old media before they were, unusable. And over time, this type of media, it starts to break down. Tapes stick together, they start to deteriorate, so they don't last forever. Most digital media that's on tape, every year it sits on a shelf, it degrades a little bit more, and you never know if that tape's going to snap when you go to play it back, that type of thing. So it is important that if you have that media, because in time, it'll be lost.
While it started out from humble beginnings, the digitization suite can handle a wide variety of media formats today.
The digitization room started out, it was basically a scanner and a very nice microfilm, microfiche reader, which we still have in the room. So starting with that, you can convert your home photographs pretty much in any format that you have or size. We have a number of different slide formats we support, including some odd ones that we've had to order some special holders for. And then moving over to the more common video formats you might want to work on, we've got mini DVD, VHS, VHS-C, Video 8, and then my favorite is the 8mm and Super 8 conversion machine. A lot of people have that old film sitting on their shelves somewhere, and it gives a pretty good video picture when you convert those, because they're individual frames, just like a movie production. In addition to that, we also have audio cassettes. A lot of people have old interviews on audio cassette or old music from their band in the 80s maybe they want to convert. And also we've added 3.5-inch floppy disk conversion if you have an old disk you find in a drawer somewhere that you need to get an old resume off or something.
If you are concerned that you lack the technical skills to record the media on your own, fear not. Library staff are available to provide assistance, and they have done their utmost to simplify the process.
Some people have a challenge using the equipment. They assume they need some kind of technical ability. They can run maybe a camcorder, but how do I get that into a digital format? So we do offer one-on-one sessions where folks can book a time with one of our technical staff, and they will sit with them and start the process and get them set up, walk them through the instructions, and explain things to them, and sort of get them rolling so they can have something to take home with them. We've made it pretty simple for people, so we have an easy method for conversion and a more advanced method. So for those folks that are not technical, you can come in with, say, a VHS tape and a blank DVD, which we do sell here at the library as well. If you don't have any, we keep a stock. You can put both of those in the machine and kind of sort of press convert and walk away, and it'll dump it onto the DVD for you in one sweep. If you want to do some editing, that machine is also connected to the computer. So you can press play, have it feed through the computer and make a file on the computer, and there's editing software available there for you to use free of charge to add the titles and then eventually burn it to DVD, or if you want to copy it to a USB stick, we have instructions for that as well.
Steve can speak to the value of restoring your treasured memories, as he's made good use of the service himself.
That's one of the best parts about if you're the family member that's discovering these gems hidden in a box somewhere from a relative people haven't talked to in a long time, is when you finally get this onto a format that you can bring over and show somebody on a phone, or I've posted stuff to social media for relatives that are not nearby, and the comments are amazing because they're just as touched as you are, right? These are, especially for some of the older generation that has even more memories of that time period, just seeing it visually and hearing people's voices, it does the same for them. Like hearing my grandfather sitting in his old leather chair speaking with a broken French accent down on Roderick Street, it was just brought back memories of my childhood because they passed away when I was very young. And the real gem for me was my uncle, when he moved, passed me a box full of old 8mm tapes and equipment that I kind of forgot about. I was busy with life and my own kids. And so I pulled those out, and lo and behold, there was actual video footage, silent film, mind you, in color of my grandparents and a lot of older uncles and such that had passed away. And some of them are party pictures where they're doing the limbo. Other ones are just goofing around in front of their house. There was even me on there as a little kid at a barbecue out in White Rock that I didn't even know they had filmed me. So it truly is just heartwarming to see those kind of things. I'll admit it brought a tear to my eye seeing and hearing that when you don't think you're going to hear them again, right, when they've long passed on. So it's very special. So if you'd like to learn more about how to use the digitization station or contact the library, please go to our website at coqlibrary.ca. And we have a page there for the digitization station. And what you'll see there is a list of the equipment we have. You'll see the types of formats that we can convert. And we've even got the instructions there. So if you're a bit nervous about doing it and you'd like to go through the steps to see how difficult it is, you can just open up the instructions on your computer and have a look through them before you come. They're available here in the room as well, so you can follow along, or you can print a copy at home if you'd like to do that. But on there as well is the contact information. You'll need to book the room and give yourself a buffer. So if you've got a 30-minute VHS to convert, give yourself an hour and a half in the room so you can become familiar with the equipment, maybe have a good cry over the material and get it converted.
Come rain or shine, every Thursday morning, our dedicated volunteers show up to pack and deliver backpacks or boxes full of food to local schools. However, the need is far more than we can accommodate even now after doubling our numbers in response to the pandemic. Feeding families with school-aged children in need is what the Starfish Backpack program is all about, and it's very near and dear to our hearts. Please contact us if you'd like to become involved, learn more, or to donate.
Our school population definitely has many more needs than just academic, and we find ourselves providing essential things like breakfast and lunch, and we are so grateful to the Rotary for providing us with Starfish backpacks, which give the kids some food over the weekend. Our families are so grateful and really need this service. Thank you so much for supporting them.
Hello, I'm Terry O'Neill. I'm on the board of directors of the Talitha Coombs Society. The Talitha Coombs Society operates 2 recovery homes in Coquitlam. We serve primarily the Tri-Cities, but all of British Columbia, offering intensive recovery programs for women recovering from addictions to alcohol and drugs. As we open our doors to anybody who needs our help. And we're here in beautiful Lafarge Lake, and we see a lot of people leading normal lives, productive lives, fulfilling lives, and that is our goal for our clients. We try to love our clients back to living. That's our sort of our motto as we walk with them. We accept them with unconditional support and love, and with that support, we guide them through a spiritually rich 12-step recovery program. We've got we've actually in this last year of COVID year, we've had quite a few successes of people completing their 12-step program, going on to reintegrate into the community and leading fulfilling lives. Some of our graduates even come back and work with us as support workers or even program directors. We have volunteers and paid employees who have graduated from our program. We're unique in recovery homes in that we allow the women who come here to bring with them their young children up to the ages of 6. We find not only is that good for the children to be with their mums, but it provides a lot of support for the women. The women quite often are trying to get clean and sober in order to be reunited with their children, who quite often they don't have access to on a full-time basis. And so that's a great motivation for them. You know, at Talitha Coombs, we are answering 2 of society's most pressing needs: affordable housing and the addiction crisis, which leads to overdose deaths. We accept anybody, any female coming. Some come right out of prison, some from the streets, some from troubled homes. We couldn't do any of this without incredible support from senior levels of government. We got support from the Coquitlam Foundation, the Port Coquitlam Foundation, the City of Coquitlam. We have support from BC Housing in the province of British Columbia, many service organizations in this area. Also, many individuals with regular monthly donations or one-time donations. It's amazing. Being on this board of directors is very inspiring because I see how many people have the well-being and the welfare of our clients in their hearts, and I thank you for that. You can read more about us on TalithaCoombsSociety.org. Thank you very much.
Welcome back to the July edition of Tri-Cities Magazine.
Sponsored by TELUS Optic TV.
The Augustus McKnight Memorial Trench has been a mainstay at the Port Moody Museum. Let's take a look.
For over 50 years, the Port Moody Station Museum has served the Tri-Cities region and beyond by hosting a wide variety of engaging exhibits that remind us of our roots and celebrate our achievements of the past. By far their most successful exhibit, the Augustus McKnight Trench, first opened back in 2014. The Station Museum's executive director, Jim Miller, tells of how they built upon their early success.
Back in 2014, we wanted to recognize the start of the Great War, or World War I, and we had an event for Canada Day. We dug a trench. It was only about 20 feet long. There was quite a bit of excitement about it, so then we created a new trench over 70 feet long. We decided to do it in honor of Augustus Wilberforce McKnight, who was a city engineer here in Port Moody. He was actually one of 10 Port Moody members that were killed during the war. He actually died of wounds. There was 9 others that died either in action or on service. But he was an engineer, so that we and took that as the engineers were the ones that were designing and the trenches and building the trenches. So we honored McKnight by naming it after him. It took us all of the fall and winter of 2014 to build it. It was all volunteers that actually worked on it. It was quite an experience, actually, because building it during the winter in the rain and the mud and snow, it gave some sort of feeling of what it was like for these guys experiencing the Great War in a trench, other than there wasn't anybody shooting at us or trying to blow us up. So it was quite a moving experience. And then when it was completed, the whole idea was we would take the trench down, but the high schools are really quite interested in it, because where else in BC can you go to learn about the Great War and actually experience firsthand what the Great War might have been like. So we are maintaining the trench as long as we can, and we will see what happens in the future.
Today, the McKnight Trench is a superb example of the living conditions endured by our Canadian soldiers who experienced trench warfare in World War I. There are plenty of informative displays, and attention has been paid to every little detail of this exhibit that now includes a replica World War I era biplane.
Welcome to the Port Moody trench display, Wilberforce McKnight Trench. My name is Marcus. I'm a curator here at the Port Moody Museum. And with me is Ashley, dressed as a nurse, and Simon, dressed as a private. I'm dressed as an officer. And behind us is the opening to the trench, where all our trench tours start. There's our latest acquisition, an SE-5A replica biplane, that sort of starts off the tour. Then we walk through no man's land, and then there's a lot of features in the trench to be explored. We do various things. We just give regular tours to schools and other groups. We had over the years many reenactment events. The way it sets out, we sort of script a little story based, of course, on historical events, Vimy Ridge or the raid at the sugar factory. Now, of course, we don't have that many people performing, but so we try to sort of pick out certain key features. Then we go down into the trench. We're all dressed up in uniform. We sort of reenacted some of those historic pictures. They're difficult sometimes because none of us are actors. So what we learned, it's kind of difficult sometimes to just be in character the whole time. But it's great, and it tells you so much about the history, you know. Just standing on a hot day like this in uniform, you realize, you know, how hot it is, and then, you know, running around or hitting the dirt in your uniform. It just gives you sort of a sense, obviously far from the actual dangers and far from the realities of it. But at least I guess it allows you to get as close to history as possible. All right, we're here now at our SE-5A replica biplane. It's one of the newest addition to the museum, and now it's of course a couple of years old, but it's a great starter for our trench tours. It starts sort of, you know, we're talking about how initially some of the politicians thought, and one direct quote, the aircraft are the devil's tools and they will never be used. And then ends up with being, you know, a lot of the aces are actually Canadian born that are flying, and aircraft become towards the end of the war, a really important factor. And it's great because it shows you, or helps us to teach about, the air war during World War I, but also the relevance of new technologies that have been introduced.
Hi, my name's Simon, one of the museum assistants here. Today, the first step in our trench tour is the fire step. This would have been the front lines of the trenches and where the soldiers would have seen the most action. Danger from opposition snipers and machine gun fire would have been high. Typically, these trenches would have been even deeper, 6 to 12 feet at times. Therefore, peeking over would have been a very dangerous act. Here we have one of the basic observation tools they would have had, a simple periscope with basic mirrors in the bottom. The fire step would have needed to be cleared at all times, ready for any kind of attack. Attacks and raids typically would have happened at midnight and at dawn.
My name is Ashley, and today I'm dressed as a nurse. Nurses sometimes had the nickname bluebirds because of our uniforms, the blue and the white. Nurses, or women, they played a very vital role in the war as well. Over 40 Canadian nurses lost their lives over the course of the war. Even, from the safety of behind the lines, so like something like this. So not a very easy job at all.
While receiving an award from the City of Port Moody in 2015, Mr. Farner observed that the McKnight Trench had indeed come to mean much more to the city and himself than he ever expected.
It was amazing, rather than what I knew is like digging a foxhole and getting all muddy and being cold and horrible. We sort of kind of dug a place, I felt, into the community. And that's when it got really interesting for me, that suddenly it wasn't just about digging, getting dirty, and maybe me remembering the good old days in the army or something, but it was about leaving a mark in the community. And then when it really came home, when the first kids arrived from schools and we gave talks to them. And it kind of choked me up, you teach these young kids about our history, about this very crucial moment in Canadian history when the nation was formed, but also a war that, and wars that should never happen. And then you see in their eyes and you talk about them, and I think, wow, this is beautiful. And we created this in our community. And I'm so thankful for obviously the trench squad that helped, and everyone who comes by and just shakes our hand. And people are just great, and that makes me go on digging in the dirt. And thank you so much.
For more information on the Trench Tours, the Trench Talks lecture series, or other exhibits at the Port Moody Station Museum, check out www.portmoodymuseum.org or give them a call at 604-939-1648. For Tri-Cities Community Television, I'm Tanya Horn.
Hello, I'm Darcel Morrow with the Port Coquitlam Community Foundation.
And hi, I'm Heidi Madrell with the Port Moody Community Foundation.
Hi, I'm Lisa Landry, and I'm from the Coquitlam Foundation.
We're happy to be gathering today by the Coquitlam River. We love the diversity of the forest, and just like the forest, our societies need to be diverse. The Tri-Cities Community Foundations acknowledge the tragedies that have affected all of us in this last month. Now we need to come together and support each other more than ever.
We're so thrilled that we've been able to, as the Tri-City Community Foundation, support our community through one of the most difficult challenges we've faced so far in the Tri-Cities. COVID hit us hard, but we're so thrilled that we were able to grant funds and help those charities that were helping our residents. We're thrilled to see the resiliency from the small businesses who pulled through and the community that helped them pull through. And we're also so pleased to see the little grassroots projects that sprung up in neighborhoods, and people were there to help each other. So well done, Tri-Cities community. We're getting through this together.
Hi, I'm Lisa Landry with the Coquitlam Foundation. We've been a foundation in the community for the last 29 years, established in 1992. Since the establishment of the Coquitlam Foundation, we've been able to give away $1.8 million in our community to help registered not-for-profits and students continue on with their education and help the organizations with their organizational costs. The funds that are available for our grants and scholarship come from the funds that are invested with our foundation. We're currently managing close to $7 million worth of funds, and it is the investments from those funds that allow us to assist a number of people in our community. If you're at all interested in starting a fund with the Coquitlam Foundation, reach out to us. You can find our contact information on our website, again, coquitlamfoundation.com.
Connectedness and mental health, particularly with youth in our community, and family food insecurity were vital issues that were amplified in Port Coquitlam this past year. We funded 18 school-based grants to charities such as Plea Community Services, Dream Riders, Sierra Society, and School District 43. 58% of our grants address food security in our schools through the local food hubs and delivered directly to neighbors that are homebound. We supported organizations from the Rotary Club of Port Coquitlam Centennial Starfish Backpacks, Port Moody Professional Firefighters Charitable Society, Food Banks on Wheels, People's Pantry, Food Recovery Society, and many other organizations that deal with food insecurity. We provided support to Crossroads Hospice, Kinsight, YWCA, and other organizations that serve Port Coquitlam. Our grant cycle will be starting in the fall of this year. Please go to our website for further information.
So as we all know, the month of June would have hosted the Teddy Bear Picnic. This year it was virtual.
Hi, I'm Terry O'Neill. Welcome to our virtual Teddy Bear Picnic Grand Parade. And you know what? Since it's so hot, we decided to stick close to the water for the parade this year. And we have a virtual Teddy Bears Regatta in the Yellow Submarine. So here's the Commodore Barry, named after the famous explorer Commodore Perry, who's directing everything. And here is our handmade Yellow Submarine with made of cardboard boxes and everything, and all of our teddy bears that normally used to go in my convertible for the parade, but I put them on the Yellow Submarine, and John, Paul, George, and Ringo are very happy to have them. I've actually dubbed these teddy bears John, Paul, George. There's John, there's Paul, there's George, and there's funny Ringo coming out of the little hatch there. So I hope the kids see this and enjoy it. We're having fun, and we all love to live in a Yellow Submarine in this hot weather.
Thank you so much for watching our July edition of Tri-Cities Magazine.
And thanks again to TELUS Optic TV for sponsoring this program.
Don't forget to follow us on our socials, whether it's Facebook at Tri-Cities Community TV or on our website at tricitiescommunitytv.org. Bye for now.
Bye for now.
This month's edition of Tri-Cities Magazine was shot on location at Town Center Park in Coquitlam, where there is a lot more to do than just shooting hosting segments.